Okay, let's go live. Ready? Prisca, can you hear us? Prisca! You're muted in case you can hear us. No way. Prisca! Are you breastfeeding? Can you hear me? Doesn't look like this is going to work.
No, I can hear you. I was trying to connect to a Bluetooth device,
So you're good
but now I
now?
can. Yes, I am.
Great. We're going live now.
All right.
And that's Integrity by Jesto Christos. It's now 3 minutes past 11 o'clock right here on Smooth 90.1. You know we love music and we love life. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But another thing that we love in addition to music and life is your personal development, growth, and you having the very best of information to help you make good choices, accurate choices, and those ones that you'll be proud of in some years' time. Importantly, right now where you are, we also want to equip you with the right information and the best of it so that you can do better in every aspect. So on this show, we have discussions that covers lots of things from the workplace to your career to personal development to communications, retirement, as well as your financial freedom. So every Tuesday from 11 till 11:50, you should totally join us on Smooth 90.1. An Office Journal is the name of the show. My name is Oluwaseun Olusegun. We're currently live on YouTube and it is at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. At Smooth 981 FM Lagos. You know that allows you to join in the conversation, for you to watch it, or even share with someone who is not in Nigeria or in Lagos so that it can be a part of the conversation and benefit from the value that will be given. Now, this morning, if you're following us across all socials, you would have seen the flyer announcing what we're going to be discussing. And that is the topic of visibility with the side dish of imposter syndrome. So, there is a need for us to be visible in the workplace, but are there nuances and layers of it? At what point does visibility get too much, or do you believe in your work speaking for you? Should visibility be actively pursued, or you think it will come to you? And then when you get to a point in your career and you feel that you're doing a lot and you're doing so much, should you put everything out there, or you don't want to be seen as doing too much? What happens when you have that voice in your head telling you, nah, you don't have to tell them you're doing this or you're not all that? All of these and more we're going to be discussing this morning. And I will be joined by two guests. One is one in people and culture, one who believes that people should come first whenever you're building anything. And she has been in different sectors and also helped many people in that regard. And then I also have another of my guests who is a communications expert. And well, I am here. I'm going to be chipping in my experiences in there so that it relates and balances the entire conversation. So in the studio with me, you can see her face. I told you, she's quite passionate about driving success through people, culture, product, and processes. And she has expertise spanning people and management and operations, organizational culture development, talent acquisition, workforce advisory, as well as strategic partnership and recruitment operations rather, where she offers a holistic perspective on human capital and operational strategy. So welcome with me, Ololade Sofowora. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, you're quite distant from your microphone. I need you to speak it to it a little better. How about now? Can you say that again?
Good morning, everyone. Good
Okay. Good morning. So soft spoken. How are you doing this morning?
I'm very well. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for joining us for this conversation. And she's joining me via Zoom for now, but she'll be in the studio shortly. She is a communication specialist as well as a seasoned public health professional and very passionate in terms of disability inclusion advocacy. Beyond communication and advocacy, she excels as a mentor and leader as the Lagos State Coordinator for the Charity Youth Fellowship Initiative for the US Consulate. She has gotten quite a number of awards, and that includes the nod from the Talent of the Future, and that was given by the Addition Hub Africa in 2018, as well as a selection as a 2019 Fellow of the Carrington Youth Fellowship Initiative, as well as Changemakers Exchange Fellow. So, welcome with me, communications expert Prisca Onyedika. Good morning. That thing that happens with Zoom again. Hi, Prisca, can you hear me? Okay. You were gone for a bit. Can you hear us? Okay, can you hear me? Oh, it's a pleasure. We hope that the network connection is going to allow us to have a seamless conversation. But we're going to start with Ololade right here in the studio. We did call the topic visibility in the workplace, the HR manager's point of view. First of all, let's start with the topic of visibility. And if one asks you your own point of view on what it means to be visible in the workplace, how would you summarize it?
So, visibility in the workplace means, just in summary, it means you showing up for yourself and also letting your work speak for you. And in terms of this, means that you put in quality in your work. As much as possible, you are not laid back when it comes to promoting yourself and carrying your brand on your head, like we used to say. So a lot of times people try to sit back down and get laid back. Some of the things that they do, they don't like to show it forward, and don't like to share, mostly because of what they think people would say. Am I doing too much, or am I doing like not enough? So I believe that as someone in the workplace, it's enough for you to put yourself out there, show yourself, show what you're worth, and you know shout about your achievements. It's one of the things that can help you as an employee, even beyond the workspace. So it's one of the things that I usually do. Aside from what I do at work, I also try to promote my own self and even the brand as well. So it's a lot. It's even a lot more than just doing the normal routine work. Go show up to work every day. The other part of it is on you to put yourself out there.
I like how you have highlighted a number of things in there that we need to be quite granular in terms of the details, because it's quite easy to misconstrue it or give another interpretation to it. For instance, you said, make sure you show up for yourself. I want to understand what it means to show up for yourself. When you say in Nigeria, as we say it, carry your business or carry your own matter on your head, what does that mean? And when you say doing too much, what does that mean? So I'm going to go back to the beginning where you said you're doing good work, but you're also speaking up. So some are of the opinion that you need to allow your work speak for itself when you're doing good work in the workplace. Others say, no, it's not enough for your work to be good. You need to make sure others are seeing it. First of all, do you agree with both? Do you think two truths can coexist? And secondly, how do you merge them?
Okay, so for me, I'm going to sit on the fence of two truths, can coexist. So now you want your work to speak for you, means that even when you are not there, they know this quality is coming from you. You do quality work, and that quality speaks for you. Even when you're in a room full with people that didn't even know you were the one that came up with the idea, and it gets traced back, and they're able to say, okay, Ololade worked on this, and I know that this is Ololade's work because it comes back with no errors, it comes back with no rework, it comes back with the quality that is expected. That's the work speaking for itself. And then when you now need to carry it on your head outside of the workspace, your social platforms are places where you can actually promote yourself outside of the workplace. Sharing more, I'll just give an example. Like, for instance, I go on LinkedIn and I post about the achievements over the past quarter, saying that these are the things that I implemented in my place of work. These are some of the things that I've done. It's not that I'm seeking social media validation. I have a target audience, and that target audience is for me to promote my own self just beyond the workplace. And most importantly, what I see when we come up and put ourselves out there, it brings in networking opportunities for us, even for you as a personal person, and even for your company as a brand itself. So it's a two-way thing.
I
So
remember a conversation with, I believe, is the happy employee coach, Mrs. Nika Jeffrey Wobe, and she spoke about something along the lines of your boss needs to know that you're doing good work. Sometimes you're doing the work, but you need to announce it to them that this is what it is. And I have seen many social media content on how to document your work. Do you subscribe to such? I mean, in the form of, I need to constantly send reports. Maybe they say, hey, go do this. Oh, I have done it. These are the report. This is it. And some extra that makes it register in the mind of your boss. Do you
mm,
subscribe to that?
very well, very well. So this is going to be an example I'm going to give. Um, where we work, it's very important for you to be outcome oriented. I work with Food Health Systems Advisory, and we're a management consulting firm. So one thing that we live by is outcome focused. We are very outcome focused, and by outcome focused mean we break down our task into outcomes. Like these are the things I'm going to achieve for this week. So it's set and clear, set expectations. So if you've done the good work and you are not communicating what you've done, the boss doesn't know what you've done, doesn't know where you've gotten to in the work. So it gives you that ability to communicate to your boss or to your manager that I've gotten this to this extent, I've registered this building to this number, I've generated this number of leads, I'm about to step out to get to the networking opportunity for our brand. I'm speaking on behalf of the company. I'm going out to do this, to do that. It just gives that registering in the minds of the boss that this person is actually putting up and showing up. And there's a difference between putting in the effort and the results showing for it. You can do a lot of effort and there's no outcome. That's why most of the times I ensure that you are not just churning activities,
Mm.
you are churning outcomes, outcomes that show the effort that you've put in. So documenting is important, communicating is also important. It works hand in hand.
It almost feels like I am impatient to get into the next
Okay.
question. And the question will be, although I'm going to allow it simmer a little before I come back to it, I'll take Prisca.
All right.
So now, in a situation where we all need to be visible in the workspace,
Mm.
everybody needs to put their work out there.
Yeah.
Is that not going to encourage a little bit of rivalry, a little bit of office politics, unhealthy competition? I'll let that question sit for a while because
Mm.
everybody now is fighting for my boss needs to know that I did this. So as opposed to teamwork where, oh, we did it together. Oh, I was the one that did this instead. Is that not going to be a little counterproductive for the team spirit in the workplace? I'll let that sit and then come to you. Priska, are you still with us?
Yes, I am.
Great. Now, for you, there are a lot of things we're going to explore, and that starts with how you take praise. Because I know that you do quite a lot. I'm not even going to get into your advocacy and your not for profits and conversations that you lead. I'm going to talk about the other aspect, which is your communication expertise. You do a lot, you organize a lot, you put a lot of programs together, and I know your work at Jobberman. So tell me, when people praise you and people say you are doing so well, and this is what it is, do you feel a little shy about taking your praise, or no, before you even give me my praise or my flowers, as we say, I'm going to put it in your hand for you to give it back to me? Talk to me about that.
Okay, thank you. So the work I do actually is the kind of work where you not usually get lots of praises.
Mm.
Alright, so for as a comms expert, most people see the outcome, like already was mentioning something about outcome, but people don't see who is getting the work done.
Mm.
So you know what people are saying, things happening, like say the events is happening on there are live programs happening, social media platform is buzzing and everything. But then the person behind the work is usually not seen. So there's that tendency to actually not receive praises for what you're doing because people are only seeing the outcome. So for me, actually, a few times when people say, "Oh, this is happening," or could you see your team? I think I actually take it very well because a number of times people would not really remember who is behind the scene. They only remember what is being. So it's for that I'm talking from my own work now. Some works actually speak for themselves. Can actually see who is doing it and see the outcome at the same time. But for communications, most times you don't see who is behind it. You're seeing a very beautifully written speech. You're seeing different activities happening on social media, and then what you're going to do is to push out to other people. And then, but you're not seeing the brain behind it. You're not seeing the engine behind it. And that tendency to say, oh, yeah, this person that was on the platform actually did very well. But then who engineered that that's the script?
Mm.
Who wrote the script for the person to speak out actually? You're not seeing that person. So in my case, the few times, I'll say few, very few, because most times it's not my work doesn't get to be really, celebrated. It's the outcome that matters. The few times I get it, I'm actually very appreciative. I say, okay, yeah, we're doing great work. So it's something so you can let me subtly blow your trumpet. How I do it now and with my team is that we have this way of reporting every month, and then we do social listening. So we put together what people have said. We have had times when people say, "Oh, Jobaman, I like your content and the soulful nature of the content, and we have gotten that kind of feedback. Like, it feels soulful. It doesn't feel like it's AI scripted. It doesn't feel like it's this and that." And we do those kind of screenshots, and then you send to the team and say, "Oh, receive this kind of feedback from people," because a number of times people don't see that. People don't get to mention that. Or once in a while, when you see that, you want to spotlight that. So that's a way of subtly, blowing your own trumpet that, oh yeah, even though this work is behind the scene, at least someone has commented on how the content is written. Someone has said something about the design. Someone has said something about, oh, I saw your billboard somewhere and you came to mind. Those are the ways we receive praise, or I receive praise also.
That is interesting. I mean, I didn't know about this part of it. I just thought, okay, you tend to have, or maybe it's my own assumption that you have so much going on. It only makes sense that everybody should do that. It's the communication department and the communication expert behind it. But now that is interesting. So before I let you go on that particular question, Priska, if you were to advise someone else in your shoes, someone who is always the engine room of things and events and structures and outcomes, and they're not being seen, how would you say they can position themselves for the accurate visibility, going by your own experience and what you decided to do?
Yeah, so I would say documentation is important. And I'll give an example. I know that this, actually, again, it comes, and thank God I had to mention it. I had a few people around me mentioning that they're doing this and that, but nobody is saying it. Or no, someone else gets to do something as little as this, and then the company praises them. Then I said something. I said, look at your work. There's a name. For instance, if you're a blog writer, the person creating content on our blogs, the name of the content writer is there. That's attribute that to yourself. Give yourself kudos for that. You can even do a screenshot and say, oh, my blog was out this week. Can you go and write about it and do a little caption online? Write about it and say, I wrote something on this for my organization. That way, you're putting yourself out and also putting your organization out. Your organization will be tempted to actually want to repost it because you mentioned them. It speaks about them also. So yeah, I wrote so and so. For instance, we wrote something about Valentine, and then it was about how you should ditch your crush in the workplace. And we wanted it to go viral. The person who was actually got kudos for it because we said, oh, this person has done this. Can you all repost and reshare on your story so that more people see it? It was more about, oh, my colleague wrote something about how to ditch a crush. And it had nothing to do with organizational, whatever it is. But then by virtue of posting it, everyone got to see it. Eventually, her name was mentioned everywhere. She got kudos for it, and then she felt, oh, yeah, I'm now being seen, and this is what I'm doing. So definitely, you need to really document what you're doing. It's important to put it out there in a little, as little. Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah. So it's important to put it out there, no matter how little it is.
Mm. Thank
So
you.
yeah, the captioning is important. Screenshots is important. Just put it out there. People get to see it. Yeah, whatever. Or you had an event and your name was mentioned at that event. It may be very little. If you just see your name on it, just do a screenshot. Because again, the work, like I say, communications is not the kind of work where you see the person really doing it. But if it gets mentioned, even if it doesn't get mentioned, another thing I tell people is that you can write about it. How about you say, oh, I'm proud to be a part of this event. We just concluded a successful event somewhere here. And then my job was to put out content for the billboards, do this and that. Even though it took so and so to get here, I'm happy about the outcome. This is what some people had to say about it. So even though your name was not mentioned, you have talked about your role in it, in that particular event or particular project. So yeah, people get to see, so, oh, we didn't know you were the one who even did this. But that's beautiful. I saw this along this line. And you know what that does? I've noticed that the moment you start putting out what you're doing that people don't know about, they now begin to look out for it. I've had times when someone just passes a particular location and then they see something Doberman related and they're, Prisca, I saw this screenshot and I think it's from your team. Oh yeah, because you have maybe mentioned it online, you have said it somewhere in your status, and people have now recorded it somewhere at the back of their mind that yes, if I'm saying something about Doberman somewhere, it has to really come from this particular person. So those are ways, subtle ways you can actually put yourself out there, even if you are not being celebrated loudly.
Thank you so much, Prisca. I feel you've suddenly turned to the expert on this matter because what you just said, I'd say it spoke to me. Now, as a background story for this conversation, I don't know if she mentioned it to you. I told her that it stemmed from me.
Mm.
And so what happened? I have a number of events that I'm going to be hosting and also facilitating in March because it's International Women's uh, Day. And they asked, how you would be told, send your speaker profile.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was putting, because I usually write and customize profile to every event, and when I was putting together one that required me to put a little bit of some things that I've done, it felt like too much.
Mm.
Some felt like, no, this is just little, you don't have to add it there. But as she spoke now, I realized there is nothing too little for you to put out there. And it's like leaving a trail such that it builds your competence over time. And people see this, they see that, oh, you have done this or you have done that. Plus, you never have the idea of what could attract a person
Mm-hmm.
and say, oh, because you did this, I'm going to work with you. So thank you, Prisca. I'm going to take that piece of advice for myself. Now, let's come back to you. Let's come back to you, Ololade, talking about how everybody trying to be visible in the workplace can possibly be counterproductive. Or do you think it's my assumption?
So I'm going to start from here, and thanks to Priska for even touching more on how putting yourself out there can attract even opportunities for you. So I'm going to use my team for example. I mentioned initially that I work with Food Health Systems Advisory, and we are very focused on professional visibility. So it becomes an LD competition when each person that it's a part of you to put yourself out there,
Mm.
show what you've done, show your achievements, speak about it online. And our communications team, they are very big at reposting everything that matters. So part of one of the things that we did was to also reward people. Part of our motivation strategies was promoting this visibility by bringing up an award challenge that says impact champion, a professional that through their visibility, they've actually also influenced the brand. So imagine someone that has gotten such awards. What do you think is gonna, create in the team? Everybody now this year, for every time you see people making posts, thought leadership posts across gender nutrition, because we deal with we provide business advisory services and technical advisory services for corporates, development partners and government. So you see people on the team writing about gender, the position of gender, the place of climate health. You see people writing about trainings and developments that you can actually take from Food Health Systems Advisory. You see quite a number of things, and it just helps us to see that the team is winning. So the mindset is, at the end of the day, who wins is the team.
Mm.
No matter your individual contribution, it's still like a general thing for everybody to win. And I'm going to give an example. Priska reached out to me, for this event, and it came from the fact that over time I've always been putting myself out there. I make posts, even up to the number of books I read on a month-on-month basis. And through that, someone connected with me and like, oh, I like the books that you read. I would like us to have a conversation on this. I went into cyber, security training. I put some posts out. Then someone came into my DM and said, "Oh, I like this. I like that. I would like to feature you for some of our, coming up webinars." All of those things, you never can tell where it's gonna get to bring you that thing that you're really expecting. So healthy competition is very, very important. So I'm going to say your assumption that would it not be unhealthy or would it be too much, everybody will now be putting themselves out there. The space is very big enough for every single person to fly. That will be the summary for me.
Thank you so much. Now, this question is going to be posed to both of you. It stemmed again from something that I saw. It was a post that was put out, I think it was last month or so, and it was done by a woman that I admire. Her name is Precious at Eniayekon. She's a founder of Stella Code Initiative Africa. And she was talking about how people put everything out there these days.
Mm.
On LinkedIn, she said she came across a 15-year-old who claims he's a life coach. And those who are active on LinkedIn will understand what I'm talking about. Everybody is a thought leader
Mm-hmm.
in the bid to be visible. So now let's examine the double-edged sword of visibility and always putting out there, as well as putting or painting a picture of who you are not. How do we make sure that we, I don't want to say overdo it, but how do we make sure that it is really what we are putting out there, or it is, it still has substance, it still has depth. It's not us over exaggerating. You know how they would say that on LinkedIn, someone can say, I changed the light bulb, but instead, the amount of words they are going to use, you would think that they were a project executive for a power generating company. So the bottom line really is in putting ourselves out there, how do we make sure that we're not butchering it up with a bit of lies?
Mm.
Prisca, you can contribute to this as well. Would you like to go first? Uh, Network.
Okay, is the question for me or for? I thought you were asking Ololade first.
Both of you.
All right. So, how do you make sure you're not sharing too much, right?
Not even sharing too much. I'm saying point blank, how do you make sure that you're not lying about who you're not and what you have done
About
in a
which
bid to
you're
be
not.
visible?
So the thing is that sadly we're in that age where because everybody is looking for validation and again I would not I don't know I'm trying to sit on the fence here. One thing I tell people is that be true to yourself. Value with value you would always attract value. The more you give value, the more you attract it because even if you keep lying about whatever you're doing, you cannot keep pouring from an empty jar or from a half-filled jar. So let's say you had something before and then you overhyped it, it was half filled, and then you say, oh, it's full, I have this much to give. Over time, it gets depleted. So first, be true to yourself. But then I know people do this. About people who say they have 10 years of experience because they said their experiences from when they were in secondary school, when they didn't even know anything and all that, and it helped them climb the ladder with that kind of, they call it a productive lie.
Mm.
And it's worked
Productive
for them. But
lie.
over time, it gets to a point where, what did you say?
Productive
Yeah.
lie. I didn't know that existed.
Well, I've encountered people who, you ask them for their years of experience and then they start telling you what they've done from secondary school, from this and that. But then when you now begin to poke further, you realize that, oh, actually, this wasn't an experience. You only maybe they just saw their uncle do this and they added it together. But I wouldn't blame them also. When you're in an age where you say you're looking for an entry level, well, they can. At least
Yeah.
was a recruiter. You can attest, you say you want so and so number of years of experience, but then you want entry level person with 2 years of experience, and then everybody begins to lie about or start putting up things. What did I do during my IT year in school? Is that relevant enough? How about I start counting from when I was in 300 level, when I was in 200 level, when I did this particular COS and all that. So you don't blame them. They actually did something, and then, but then how do we counter that? Again, like I say again, over time, if you don't keep adding to that jar, it gets whatever you had already would get depleted. So it should be seen.
Mm,
There will be a takeover. And in this industry, in the workplace, overtaking is allowed. The
interesting.
ones who are actually doing the work, the ones who actually have the substance, are going to overtake you. So you can't put up that front for a long time, is what I tell people. So you would need to always, always have to defend what you actually put there. If you're saying you're a life coach at 15, you better be ready when life comes for you, because you've not seen life actually. So that's then the true test of something. Okay, when life comes for you, how are you later able to handle it? It's going to not be beyond the talking. It's not about how you've navigated that experience. Yeah, so I say, don't be true to yourself. Yeah, that's my conclusion.
So
because whatever you
Ololade,
lie about to come for you.
Mm.
mm, is it okay to fake it till you make it as touch invisibility?
Mm. So for me, I'm going to stand on Prisca's notes, adding value, and then if you lie, you have to keep lying to add more to the lie. So how long do you want to keep lying? So what I would say is, as HR person, we see a lot of these things where you come with this number of experience, years of this, I know how to write this, I can write this code, I can do this, and then it comes to defending it and you're not able to. So what speaks for you is the value that you've added consistently, not the lies that you put out, because someone somewhere knows you. And pretty much during work verification processes, when a call gets out to the person that really knows you and they verify and say, we want to just let you have some conversations about this person. What do you know about them? And they say, this one, no, it comes back to you. So if you lie and the lie comes back to haunt you, it may be at a point where you really needed that breakthrough and you've lied your way through, and in the end it gets away from your hand. So try as much as possible, as much as you want to be visible, be able to defend that visibility, because when it comes back you should have the values to defend it. So that's what my summary is gonna be.
Thank you. We'll take a breather. When we come back, we will need to discuss the issue of selling yourself strategically. Because I, as a public speaking coach and communications professional, I believe that you can reframe things. So, how do you reframe and how do you sell yourself strategically, especially when you're packaging and writing your CV? In case you're joining us for the first time, this is Office Journal on Smooth 98.1. And this morning, we're examining the topic of visibility in the workplace, the HR manager's point of view, as well as the employee's point of view. You're welcome to add to this conversation. I'll tell you the lines when we come back.
Hello.
Good morning.
Okay, not are you still on YouTube?
We are on YouTube.
Yeah, they.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Sorry,
How
Jerry.
are you?
I'm fine now.
You can
Let me
have, that's your
breastfeed my
safe.
baby
Yeah.
before I leave.
Oh,
So that when she's crying,
oh.
at least something will hold her before I get back home.
Sorry.
Thank you.
How's it going, mommy?
Yeah,
Let me take this. It's a
I
little
wasn't
bit
able to
clustered
express this
here.
time around because she was working all night. So
Oh,
I had to break. Yeah, I had to be back before she wakes up.
Life of a working mom.
Isn't it?
it's not easy.
You're doing exclusive ones.
You'll be fine. You guys are the real MVP.
How are you?
I'm fine.
I'm supposed to have you on Soul Sisters.
Yeah.
We need to have this conversation on Soul Sisters. All right, mic's up. We're back. Love music, love life. It is now 35 minutes past 11 o'clock on this 24th of February, 2026. It's a Tuesday, and Tuesdays 11 till 11:50, we have meaningful conversations, value-adding conversation. You can be certain that whenever you tune into Office Journal on Smooth 98.1, and this is me not trying to blow my trumpet or our trumpet, but you are going to be certain that you will take something that will help you in the workplace, in your personal life, in your professional life, and so on. So this is me telling you to always invite people and make sure that the dial is always set to 98.1, and you tell people around to always tune in on Tuesdays from 11 till 11:50. Right now, you can join us on YouTube, and that is at Smooth 981 FM Lagos, at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. My name is Oluwaseun Olusegun. In the studio with me, I have People and Culture Talent Advisory.
Food health systems advisory.
My
Food-
God. Shame on me. Thank you. Her name is Ololade Sofowora. And also in the studio with me is communications expert, that is Prisca Onyedika. Thank you for joining us, both of you ladies. I feel
Thank
like
you.
we're already in March, which is Women's Month.
Yeah.
But this morning we're talking about visibility in the workplace, the HR manager's point of view, as well as the employee's point of view. And if this conversation is your cup of tea, you can be a part of it either by asking a question or giving your contribution. We have the WhatsApp line available. That will be 0911 999 0981. Again, 0911 999 0981. You can also join us on or via the phone line. That will be 0700 2255 981. Again, 0700 2255 981. So, Ololade, I promised you that question before the breather. I said, how do you or how does a person strategically sell themselves when they're writing things that you have done on their resume or their CV?
Okay, so for CV writing, it's important that you take out some of the irrelevant things, and most times we see a lot of people put details that are not even needed. Like we've seen CVs that you have your international passport number,
Whoa.
yes, your NIN
Oh my
number,
God.
your full house address, your marital status, your age, and all those things. We've gone past that era of having some of those details, and this is the era where it's more about the outcomes, even past responsibilities.
Mm.
I recently had to, work on my CV because I saw that I just had the chunk of responsibilities. What are the things that I need to show that I've done this? So it has to be outcome focused, achievement focused. And I tell people, when you are even trying to leverage AI or chat GPT for CV revamp, try to ensure that what you are getting from chat GPT is accurate, because a lot of times people even do copy and paste. They don't even review what has been got. Yeah, we've seen a lot. When we
Wow.
review CVs, we see a lot. The key line from chat GPT saying you can make use of this. You just see the header on the CV as well. So
That is
so
insane.
many funny things. So what I would say is focus on your achievements,
Mm.
and speak in terms of values that have been added, more than there's a difference between task responsibilities. I responsible for this, and then there's outcome focus, reached 1000,
Yeah.
supported this with this, those action verbs, they work magic, and they are keywords that would help you to say that you've actually done this at this place that you've worked. So if you have, like, let me give an example of my own self and say I retained talents for the company. I'm just giving this as an example. Promoted motivation, implemented employee recognition awards. I fulfilled a role that came with about 30 million naira revenue for the company.
Mhm.
These are outcomes
Yeah.
focused, and more than just the responsibility. I filled the role, I screened the CV. What's the outcome? How does it add value to the organization?
Mm.
I think that's the place and the point we should be when we are putting things in our CV. Strategically positioning yourself even before they reach out to you, they've seen that you want that outreach. Because sometimes people will say, when they call me, I'll be able to defend it. That CV is what
It's
gives
what,
them
yeah.
that opportunity to say, I
Mm.
want to call you. I can look at a CV and I just go from paragraph 1, 2, 3, and I'm like, let's move. I'm not proud and I'm not wicked, but what I was looking for, I didn't see. And I can see a CV and I'm like interested. Let me see. This should spark up a conversation. I really want to know how this person really achieved this number. So that's why I said, when you are putting numbers, be clear and certain that you can defend the number. So position yourself strategically. Ask the questions. What did I do that moved the needle? This should inform what you will put in your CV more than just responsibilities. I went to this. I visited 3 clients. I went to, what are the outcomes to show for this thing? So that's what I'm saying.
Thank you. 0700 2255 981. That's number to dial. Again, 0700 2255 981. And WhatsApp line is 0911 999 0981. Now, to you, Prisca, let's talk about organizational culture and
Okay.
how it affects people's willingness to stand out, to grow as well, and for them to want to put themselves out there. And the reason why I'm asking is because I know that in some cases, rather, it feels like the more visible you are, the higher the expectations, the lower the error margin that you're permitted, the higher the criticism.
Mm.
So, how does organizational culture influence employees' visibility in the workplace?
Okay. So I would say it depends on the organization.
Mhm.
Because again, in some cases, like you said, it's a balance of you need to be visible and you need to let your work speak for itself. And there's some times where
you're not going to be criticized because you're visible. You're not going to be. So I would not say it's those who are more visible whose work get criticized the most. I would say that how do I put it? Because again, for those doing invisible work, like I was saying, I'm just coming again from the comms perspective. There's so much scrutiny on because you're putting out your brand, you're putting out, you cannot afford to make an error. When I tell my team that we can't, even the comma or anything is very important because someone is doing it and it may do a screenshot and all. No one is seeing the person doing it. The only time people see things is when there's an error. I've had cases where there's an error with time or so, and then you would think that people were not watching or were not really following the page. Then someone sends a screenshot to someone else, and then it goes. So I won't say it's because you made your work visible. That's why that scrutiny is there. I would just it can come from both because again people are seeing what you're doing, and
Mm.
then it also comes from the fact that your work is so important so that if even if you're not really making so much noise about it, there'll still be that scrutiny. So it's just being careful. Be sure that if I want to really be loud about this, I'm putting out good work. I'm
Mm.
sure that even if I don't want to be loud about it, there's still good work that can speak for itself. So that's where the bottom line is that there's make sure that value or good work in this place now, good work, accurate work, attention to details is the focus here. If I'm going to put out anything, if I'm saying that I want to be seen, I want to do this and that, make sure that you're being seen for the right thing. I've had product managers and all that fight about their work because again, that's another line of work where you don't really see the person behind the products. You
Yeah,
only see
just
the
the
product.
product.
Yes. But then you begin to break down some things and then you begin to understand, oh, so this work went into this. And then it doesn't make us now begin to scrutinize the person who made the post because oh I saw you post about this. It just makes you appreciate that work better. So I would not say there's so much scrutiny that comes from visibility. I just think it helps people to really appreciate your work, especially if you're really doing good work, especially if you're not lying about it. If they see it, oh, this much has gone into this, then I appreciate it more. So you shouldn't because oh you don't know what fools you don't know if they will not start looking out for your flaws. Because of that, I want to now hide and all that. You're going to do yourself a disservice. So if your work needs you to just lay low and then let the results speak, by all means you can lay low. If your work needs you to speak out, by all means, and when you're in this era where you cannot afford just to always lay low,
Mm.
let your work speak for itself and also do your best possible to push
Give it a
yourself.
microphone.
Yes, it's important.
I'm going to come from the aspect of the HR managers, especially the ones who shape the culture of the organization, Ololade. So tell us, what are the things and maybe habits, attitude, character, and even tone that HR managers or people culture builders in the workplace might be involved in that will be dissuading people from being visible or make them earn the tag of a toxic workplace or making people just want to shrink back?
So one thing I shared in my last post on LinkedIn was your Monday meetings.
Tell me about it.
So at my company, I lead the weekly meetings, and we ensure to make sure it's really fun. Um, team check-in, team health, connect with people, even our remote team. So before we get into the outcome focused thing, we've settled the ground, and people are really more relaxed. So your Monday meeting should not be the type that you would be like, it's time for Monday meeting, just so that confidence, you start building confidence by allowing yourself to be in the shoes of people. What at this point will make people feel relaxed? When we call ourselves HR managers or people and culture, most times we act on it far away from the experience of people. But put yourself in people's shoes. If you
Mhm.
work together with your team and you see that some of their work place is not even convenient or convenient for them, what are the things that you put in place? So one thing is also important: respect. People value respect at the workplace. You can't say because you are the leader, you are this, you don't understand emotional intelligence, especially when you read people. You notice when somebody is down, you notice when things are not going well, and people, they appreciate appreciation. The littlest of it makes people understand that you value them. So one of the things that I would advise leaders to do is appreciate your team, praise them the loudest, criticize them, in the close place. But when you want to appreciate and praise them, let it be in the open. When you want to
Mm.
criticize any work that's being done, not even come from the point of this is bad. You can say
Mm.
we could have done
Done
this in a
better.
better way. It reinforces something in somebody to say, okay, because my boss said this, I can do it better. And again, when people do things, you should go out of your way to actually reward them through appreciation and recognition. Oh, we did this, it was good. Not that oh, somebody submitted a report to you and you know it wasn't you that really did the report, but because you are the manager, you want to stand to say, oh, I did it. You just say, so I'm submitting the reports that I did, and your team member is just there looking like, and I contributed to this, but the
Mm.
real thing makes things, go a better way. So respect, appreciate when you are able to, or every time when somebody does good work, and then when you want to correct, ensure that it's a we and not the you did this. So put the place of collectivism when it comes to appreciation. Even when we make mistakes, we make it together and we'll see how we are going to come out of this. So it really makes things, changes a lot of perspective and changes a lot of things in the work. You put yourself in people's shoes, and from that angle, know how you want to relate with them. It goes a long way.
Thank you. Do you want to add something? Or we'll go to the
No, I was
next.
going to say yeah, empathy. I think
Okay.
that's the word. Empathy is very important because when you don't do that, well, I always say people, you don't want a staff member, you don't want a team member who resents you,
Hmm.
or you don't want them to come to the office and say, I don't like working here, I don't like my boss, I don't like. You want a happy team as much as possible. I'm one person who's very big on having a happy team because that helps. That energy from within actually helps people get the work done. So if you don't empathize with them, if you are the type that is always okay, no, you didn't do this well, this is this and that, people are watching.
Yeah.
And over time, they feel, okay, since you will not appreciate me, let me go somewhere else where I can be appreciated. And that's when you now begin to see that a number of people are leaving a particular workplace because they're not being appreciated. So empathy is really very important.
Thank you. We're almost at the end. Actually, we're at the end of the conversation, but I
Yeah.
think we're not going to allow both of you go without this one, and that's imposter syndrome.
Mm.
So, how do you deal with imposter syndrome in the workplace? You're doing good work, people are seeing it, but you somehow feel that you're inadequate, or you think when they're talking about that person who's doing excellent work, that's not you, you're a fraud. So, from the HR manager's point of view, how do you advise people deal with imposter syndrome? And the comms point of view, how do you deal with it? So, who do we start? Ladies first. Both of you are ladies.
So for me, yeah, I still talked about this, and I know that it comes like some part of your life when you enter into a new space. That thing just comes and like, hey, am I sure I can do this? But what I've realized is that question coming is from a place of the fear of the unknown. You don't know what
Mm,
is, but one thing I have done to actually come out of this, to answer the question myself, what happens if I don't do it?
mm,
So if the outcome of what will happen if I don't do it, if it is nothing compared to what would be my joy if this goes out and is better, then I go for it. So that thing is just a mindset shift. You have to have that mindset shift to be able to like come out of that place of I'm not enough. You are enough and you can do more, right? So that's just a summary. Answer that question yourself. What happens if I don't? What happens if I do? And then you can come out of that space. It's very terrible and it's a terrible place to be in where you just want to cower back and like, I'm not enough. No, no, no. This excellent presentation is not me. I didn't do this. No, no, no. But ask your question. What happens if I don't put it out there? What would happen? What would be the craziest thing that can really happen? Or what would be is there a death sentence for me if I don't do this, if I don't come out of this? So once you're able to like, it's like speaking to your mind, asking that question again, just to reinforce your mind to see the positive. Yeah.
I'm going to open up that question, still same question, but another layer of it. And the
All right.
reason is because I know that you lead a team and you're very big on the team spirit. So when the accolades, when they eventually come, how do you fight the urge to say, "Oh, it's our team. It's we're the ones that did it together. Oh, it's not just me. It's my team that did an excellent work." How do you deal with that?
Actually, I'm a fan of giving people their flowers. My team members know I'm going to fight for you to be seen. I don't even mind not being seen because I have the principle. My work will speak through the people who work under me.
Mm,
So if they are doing good work, it's a reflection of my leadership. So most times I'm not trying to say we did it. I would mention their names. I don't know if I can mention names. And I just said, oh, Zina did this because okay, I don't know if I go. Thelma did this, and people can know that they did this. Some other people who work under me too, or who have worked with me will know that. I'll be happy to mention their names. Oh, this person did it. I know I worked in a former organization, and there was this particular girl. She was a copper at that time, but she was really good. I don't know how her brain worked like magic, and I couldn't let the CEO didn't know she was always the one doing some things, and she was like, "Ah, Prisca, I always trust her." I said, "No, I just did it actually. It was not me." I said, "Oh, really? How did she?" Because again, if you don't give them that flower, they feel like I said again, you don't want people to resent you.
Mm.
You don't want that place where people who are working with you are saying, "Oh, after all, you get their colleague," because over time they now begin to work against you
Mm.
if you don't give them their flowers. So ensure that they get their flowers. The little thing, oh, this copy is really beautiful. Kudos to your team. Yes. Thank you very much. However, this person did this person did this. It's all thanks to them also. Again, also just reflect on your leadership. Because they did it, I oversaw it, I reviewed it, I approved it, yes.
Mm.
But they did it. So still give them their flowers because it helps them not do better. You see them happy to do more because they've someone has mentioned them, someone has spoken about them.
Mm.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies. It's been a wisdom pots that you've
Mm.
been dishing out from, and I'm grateful for your presence. If you were to give someone who's listening a take home, an employee as well as an employer, on this topic of visibility, what would it be?
Mm. So for employer, invest in your people. That's there's no two way about it, because when you invest in the people, the gain that comes to your organization is usually big. And investment is professional development, understanding that you can put in more into your employee without having the mindset that, oh, sometimes people will leave. No, even when they leave to other places, they would always remember that I'm a product of this company because of the values that they've placed in me and invested in me. And for employees, don't sit to say until they tell me to do something, I'm not going to go for it. Push for yourself, push the boundaries, like push yourself beyond the boundaries that have been set, and you see yourself fly. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think I want to go from that. Push yourself because I don't know if we talked about the fact that you can do so many things in the organization, but you want to just stick to your job description because you
Mm.
think if I do this one and then I start.
You say there's more.
No, for instance, I'm a disability inclusion advocate. I'm sure everywhere I go, there's no way people don't know that I advocate for disability inclusion. So even though my work is comes, if I see anything around disability inclusion, how about we do this way? How about this? I'm not trying to enforce. I'll just because there's always someone for that job. I can just go to the person. Oh, I work with this, and I think can also explore this part of it. Oh, that's fine. And then over time, then I begin, oh, there's a disability inclusion advocate here. Can we also ask for her
Mm-hmm.
opinion about this? So that is that way. You're not making the person look like they're not doing their work. You're just happy to also contribute. Let people see that, okay, yeah, you're really the person who would go over and beyond what your job description entails. Or is it another role? For instance, last year I discovered that I could actually do some. No, not that I discovered, I knew I could host, but I wasn't exploring it yet. And it just came from, oh, we have a work event and we're looking for MCs and all. How about I take this up and all? And it started from there. From there, I even got a side gig for
Mm-hmm.
hosting and all. And that's because organization, I allowed myself to be seen there. I can actually do it. I wasn't hiding about it. And it opened up more opportunities. So yeah, you don't want to really be too loud about it. Come from the place of, I want to just contribute. I'm not trying to take over your work. I'm not trying to say I can do it better. Well, how about, or do you mind? And they don't take it eventually, take it in good faith. Oh, yeah, you are the expert in this. I only wanted to just make
Exactly.
a contribution. So, yeah, there's that place. Just be willing to go beyond what your job description entails. And again, don't be afraid to talk about your work.
Mm.
One thing that's helped me in life is the mirror. So, if you are too shy, you go always speak to yourself in the mirror. I'm sure she may understand the mirror conversation because it's not even about comms work, it's about a perception of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So speak to yourself always in the mirror. If there's someone who can talk you out of what you have told yourself you
Mm-hmm.
can become. So when you speak to yourself, those affirmations, those not the ones you quote and all that, tell yourself the truth about what you think you are. I think it also reinforces what you can do beyond your personal space. People begin to see that confidence in the workspace and they begin to respect that confidence and the output they're giving into your work. And for employers, again, I would always say that just make sure you give people their flowers. I think
Mm.
where I work, we try with that. Yeah, there's this Jobber Champ Award and all that. give people their flowers. It
I've
helps
won
them.
that couple of times.
Yeah, she was
And I
always winning.
implemented it at my current company
She
as
was
well.
always
So it's,
winning.
yeah.
And because of her, we had to make sure we took that away. Yeah, so ensure you, because it makes them want to continue to do great
Yeah.
work. When people
Mm.
feel seen, when people feel appreciated, they want to continue doing the work.
Mm.
Yeah, so keep giving
I,
people their
I wish
flowers,
we
yeah.
turned this into a podcast so we could just go on and on to other
yeah.
topics, but it's been beautiful having you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, speaking about visibility, where do we find you?
Mm.
On LinkedIn, Instagram?
I'm on LinkedIn. You can, check me out, Sofowora Ololade on LinkedIn. I also post content on YouTube. I post recruitment content, people content on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram as well, and I'm growing my TikTok account as well. So you can find me on those social pages.
Your handle?
So I'm Lade96 on Instagram, and Recruit with Me on TikTok, and Recruit with Me on YouTube. The Secret Life of a Recruiter. So you can catch some tips on that.
That means we need to have you for an entirely different episode on recruiting, the mistakes, the advice.
Yeah.
We're going to schedule that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No issues.
So, Madam Prisca.
As the name implies, Prisca Onyedika. They're on LinkedIn. I'm Prisca Onyedika on LinkedIn. But yeah, if you just search for Prisca Onyedika on all platforms, LinkedIn, Instagram. Yes, I'm still very much on Facebook because my generation.
I don't have a Facebook account.
Yeah, Facebook. Yeah, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. Those three platforms actually are where you would find me.
Well, you can find me on Instagram at Oluwaseun, where you find me talking about English, grammar, public speaking in the workplace, especially, and for your corporates. Communication. And I do have a course coming up actually in March where we'll be talking about confidence, anxiety, intonation, and so on. So yes, you can find me at Oluwaseun. And now we're out of time. Thank you, ladies. I hope to have another conversation with you and to drink from your well of wisdom. But thank you, dear Smooth listener, for being a part of Office Journal for today, 24th of February, 2026. Coming up shortly would be Casbah, where we will be enjoying the best of music from the continent of Africa and beyond. This is Smooth 90.1.
All right.
That went live. The whole, like, we have come to the end of a tumultuous episode.
We are done.
Oh, Lord.
Prisca, how are you doing?
I'm fine,